Hello and welcome to our 4th of July special. Today, I am your host, I am Mark, and I'm here with Kinson and Jeanette.
What's up?
Hey!
And today we are going to be going over the first summer blockbuster, Jaws. I believe I am the only one here that has actually seen Jaws, right?
Until last night.
As far as I know, yes.
So I've seen Jaws like a million times. It was one of my favorite movies growing up. It's one of my mom's favorite movies, so we constantly would watch that in the summer. So I'm very, very, very familiar with Jaws. Going into Jaws, what did you two expect? What did you know about the movie? And how were the vibes?
Well, I obviously knew what Jaws was about, like a little bit. It was about a shark killing people. That's all I knew. And after watching Jaws, keeping it short, I used to love the beach and now I hate it with so much love. Yes.
Got it. Well, my understanding of Jaws was kind of the same. I just knew it was about a beach, and I knew it was about a shark that antagonized the beach. But for some reason in my head, I kind of thought of it as more. I don't know, maybe like more of like a slasher almost, just with a shark being the main villain. I didn't think that there was like a whole story behind it and like backstory and like with like characters. I thought it was literally just gonna be we're just gonna watch people get eaten by a shark for an hour and a half, and then someone's gonna kill it at the end.
Right. The story is actually the most riveting part. It's not even the shark.
Really is. I agree.
Yeah, so it was released in 1975, and originally it was not supposed to be released in the summer, but this was a production from hell. We'll get more into that during my fun facts. It's directed by the great Steven Spielberg, and it is based on the best-selling novel by Peter Benchley of the same name. And I believe this is Peter Benchley's first book. Jaws was his first book he ever written.
It's a good way to start.
I know, seriously. So Jaws, the movie Jaws, shows the small town of Amityville, and they're getting prepped for their big 4th of July celebration. It's a small town, so their 4th of July celebration brings in all the money. It's really good for their economy. But a few days before, there's a shark attack. A young girl named Chrissy goes for a night swim and meets a very vicious end. Watching that opening scene for the first time, what did you guys think? How'd you feel?
Well, I kind of already knew what was gonna happen because before that I would always watch like videos of conspiracy theories, and they would include Jaws, and they would put that scene of Chrissy being eaten and stuff. But I honestly, to be really honest with you, I did not think anything much of it. I'm like, all right, that's literally what it's about. Jaws eating people up in the ocean. She went to go swimming, skinny dipping, and it's just I think it's more of a like it's always the teenagers getting nude and they always die afterwards.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. And you'll survive. How about that?
That's what I'm
like maybe
saying.
Wrap yourself up and you'll be fine.
No teenager that has been fully clothed has ever died in a movie. Confirmed. I just looked it up. It's true. Don't look it up yourself. But for the first opening scene, my thoughts on it were, I didn't like that dude like across from the fire, just drinking that beer, just staring at that girl like that. I hated that. He made me uncomfortable. And then Chrissy's voice irritated me. She was fine, and then all of a sudden she had that one line where he was like, "What are we doing?" And she goes, "Swimming," really, really annoyingly, and then runs to the water. And I was like, and I swear to you, I said, "I hope she's first" out loud, and then I was right. But it is an interesting scene, especially. And I'm going to wait until the second death to bring up this point. But there is a very, very interesting parallel between the first death and the second death that I want to talk about when we get to that.
Okay. Yeah, so, yeah, as Chrissy's being attacked, that's when we first hear the dun 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 dun, which is just iconic. John Williams did the score. He's always amazing. He's done Star Wars, he's done Harry Potter, he's done all the stuff you know. Look him up. So he does the music for just amazing films. He did Jurassic Park too, I think.
I love Jurassic Park.
Okay, I did not know that he did Harry Potter. That's
Yeah.
The more you know, the more you know.
So after Chrissy dies, we then meet Police Chief Brody, who is my favorite character in the movie. He's a new cop. He just moved into town with this new job with his family. He's inspecting Chrissy's death, and they chalk it up to a shark attack. The mayor doesn't like that, so they ended up chalking it up to a boat accident because a shark attack is bad for business.
That mayor really pissed me off.
I know. Brody wants to close the beach. He wants to close the beach, and the mayor just does not. So there's a scene after the initial attack where Brody is on the beach. He's sitting there. He's watching, and the way that they edit it, you can just tell that he is so anxious, and he's looking out in the water. He's not trying to, like, all these people are trying to come up and talk to him, and he's just, like, looking past them at the water, just looking. He's looking for the shark.
That scene gave me anxiety. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, the way it was shot, it was very, very well
stressed
done.
me out. It was like 10 minutes in.
Yeah. So after that really intense scene where Brody's looking into the water, that's when we see the shark's point of view underwater, and he's scoping out his next victim. He then lays his eyes on Alex Kittner, who is on his little raft. And we get this really, really crazy shot of him actually being attacked in the water, and you just see blood just spurt out, like, everywhere. It's so sad to watch. Everyone runs out of the water, and you see his mom come looking for him, and his mom finds his raft with the big bite taken out of it. It's so sad.
I don't know how she managed to even stand. Because, obviously, I don't have a kid, but if I were her, I'd probably pass out from the overwhelming...
Your child just died. Yeah, that's definitely overwhelming.
Yeah, your
Child just got
kid.
sharked.
He's just a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And with his death, I will bring up the point that I was going to talk about is there is... Now that you've seen it twice in the movie and you'll recognize it going forward, is they do a really good job of not showing the shark, but showing exactly where the shark is, using objects that it has to pull it around to track the exact motion of it, rather than just showing it itself to kind of build up the anticipation of seeing it finally. So, like, it was pulling the life raft around, and then in the first death, it was pulling her body around through the water, like keeping it on surface level, but like showing it moving all around, like in shark patterns. Right. I thought that was really cool.
They did not do that on purpose. The mechanical shark would barely ever work. No, I'm so.
They did a really good job on that, though.
Yeah. So Steven Spielberg's idea.
70s?
That was Steven Spielberg's idea to use other objects. Like, he uses the point of view from the camera, he uses Chrissy's body, he uses the raft, that was all his idea, because the shark would not work.
It was well shot. It was very well shot.
It's very well done.
Another point that I do want to bring up about the second killing is, so it's this little kid, it's on a raft, and there's actually, the book is directly across from me that I'm about to reference, but when I was little, there was this book, and it was called The Wild Wild World or something like that. And it basically told me who is more likely to get attacked in shark-infested waters, blah, blah, blah. And it is because if you are on a raft like that and swimming with your arms and legs, you look more like a seal because that raft makes your body look big like a seal, and you have tiny little appendages that are coming out and, like, swimming you. So he is the most likely person on that entire beach to get attacked by a shark, and that's realistic.
Yeah, no, it really is. So after that happens, they have this town hall meeting because they're debating whether they want to close the beach or whether they want to hunt the shark. And Brody recommends, Chief Brody recommends closing the beach, and that pisses everybody off because this is when they make all their money. And after, a little bit of arguing, we meet Quint. We meet Quint, who says for $10,000, he'll kill the shark.
Honestly, okay, I want to bring something up here. I did not know that was the classic everyone talking, everybody like talking over each other, and then just
yeah.
Ew.
Immediately took me to the moment of like that one SpongeBob episode when they're trying to kill the Alaskan bullworm, and it's just that one little clap, and then it goes to the guy, and it's the old man saying, "Can I use the restroom?"
I'm pretty sure that was a Jaws reference that they were trying to do.
That really was. That was because they've had many Jaw references, including the part, a little off topic, but that one SpongeBob episode where
With the clam.
Mr. Krabs with his $1 millionth and he
the
has
big
Squidward
clam.
and SpongeBob, and it's like doo-doo, 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 and it's like that one intense, like, it's like, oh.
It's a shot-for-shot remake, actually.
This is, I thought SpongeBob was the original, but I guess I was wrong. So I thought that was like, oh, that's where it came from, It was pretty cool.
Yeah. So then we meet the over-the-top character that is Quint, who's played by Robert Shaw. And he does an excellent job as that character. Yeah, so he's offering $10,000 fee for the shark. So Brody decides to close the beach for only 24 hours. Well, he didn't pick the 24 hours. The mayor did. But during that 24 hours, Mrs. Kittner puts a $3,000 bounty on the shark. Mm-hmm. And all these people from out of town come and try to find this shark.
Yes, that is a terrible, terrible, terrible
Which is
part.
kind of messed up a little bit because they're putting this kid's life into a competition.
Yeah.
Like, I think someone mentioned it. It's you're making this into a competition. It's a kid's death, so you're making this, if you find this, you'll get a reward, which, yes, I guess it's a good thing, but it kind of seemed like a competition, which is kind of, excuse my language, kind of fucked up.
This is an explicit podcast, so you're allowed to say
you're allowed
fuck.
to say whatever you want.
Everyone
All
say
right.
it with me now.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Fuck!
There we go.
There we go.
Good experiment, guys. One thing I do want to mention before we move on from this meeting is that, did you guys see in the background of the fucking meeting on the chalkboard, there's a chalk drawing of a shark with a person in its mouth?
Yeah, I think
Right
Yes,
behind
I did
Quint.
catch that part.
Quint did that because
He
when everyone's entering the room, it's not there.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
So he just sat there and drew it. So and then he did the claw
I
thing so he
immediately
could draw
caught on to
attention.
that.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
I love how over the top he is. So after we get the $3,000 bounty set on the shark, Chief Brody calls a shark expert who is known as Hooper, and that is played by Richard Dreyfuss, who's also a great character. Honestly, all
I love Cooper.
me too. Yeah, so we get to know a little bit about Hooper. He's this big shark expert, and the reason he's a shark expert is because he was attacked by a thresher shark when he was a child, which is a little fun little backstory on Hooper. And then we get this really funny scene where Chief Brody is just stressed out at home, and he sees his son Michael and Sean playing outside, and I think Michael tries to hop on a boat. And he's like, "Get off the boat! Get off the boat!" And then, Ellen, the mom, is like, "Oh, they're fine. Let them be." And then she starts looking at the pictures in the book, and she sees the picture of the shark attacking the boat, and then she starts yelling at the kids too.
You heard your father. Get off the boat.
One of the things I
You
wanted
heard your father.
I wanted to talk about that so bad because she was just like, "Oh, let them have fun." Did you not hear your father? Get off that boat!
Something.
So it has a little bit of comedy in there. That's what I was trying to say.
It does, and it has a lot of good
It does
funny
have
parts.
comedy.
It really does, and something that was also funny about that research in the books is you see a shark. I don't want to, jump crazy ahead, but in the book when he is researching, you see a picture of a shark with an air tank in its mouth.
Oh, really? I didn't even notice that.
You see a huge. It's like a still shot on the page, and it's just in one of the books when he's researching sharks. You see a shark, and it's even in the side of the mouth, like literally identical. It's just a crazy foreshadowing moment that you would never know. The only reason I knew is because I knew how it ended.
Okay. Wow. I need to look for that next time I watch it. I'm probably gonna watch it within the next month because it's such a good movie. So yeah, after that happens, they catch this big tiger shark, and everyone's convinced that that's the shark that's been doing all the damage. Obviously, it's not. Because we find out later, after Hooper and Brody have a few drinks, they decide to drunkenly go dissect this shark. So they're dissecting the shark, and they just pull out fish, and they pull out a license plate as well, but no Alex Kittner in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I mean that kind of puts you into the thought that it's like, how many sharks are there? Like, was the one that they caught? I'm going way too ahead, but like
You're allowed. You can.
The big shark that they caught, was it even the one that caught Chrissy or Alex?
Nope.
Because if they caught the little one,
Nope.
There must be a bunch of little ones, because even then that little one could do just as much damage. It's a shark, you know. It's a shark. It's a dangerous sea creature. So, I mean,
Yeah.
who knows how many are there? And I have not watched, because I know there's more than just one Jaws movie.
Don't watch 'em.
have never watched. Really? Okay, so
They're
it's not
bad.
okay,
Jaws,
great.
Jaws 2, Jaws the Reunion, and Jaws 3, and Jaws 4, and Jaws the Final Countdown.
Yeah, because I've never seen Jaws, so that's why I'm like, maybe
The
there's
second
just
one is
more.
it's worth a watch, but it's the exact same thing.
Isn't it
Third
about the
one's
baby?
Terrible. Fourth one's terrible.
Like Jaws has a baby? That's
No,
what the
it's
second
same
one is?
shark.
What?
You just had
Okay,
this-
never mind.
They did the Halloween Kills thing where they like burnt the side of his fucking face.
Oh.
Yeah, it's something.
Oh,
And
real quick, one thing we didn't even mention is the dolly zoom on the beach shot.
oh yeah, I wanted to talk about all those shots. They were so good.
The dolly shot.
I learned
or-
about that in film school, actually.
Yeah, it's called the Hitchcock shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like official name or like its slang name or something like that.
Yeah, the one where it's like it zooms in, but it pans in while it zooms out. It's really cool.
Yes,
It's a really
Yes.
cool effect.
it is a cool effect, and when done well, it's really nice. Jenna, if you don't know what we're talking about, it's when he's in the chair, and it like in the background stretches really far, but then he stays in the same space.
That's I know what you're talking about. It's like they zoom in, but they go close and they zoom out, so
Yeah.
it kind of looks like
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
what you mean. Yeah.
That's exactly how they do it, and it has a really good effect when it's put into like a use like that, especially in a very dramatic moment like that one.
Yeah,
That was like the very first time they used that type of effect, huh? Because it was like
it's definitely
it's
the
still
most
dramatic.
well-known one. It's
100%.
the most well-known
Yeah.
one. Anyway, so then I want to go back to this really cute scene. Chief Brody's having a bad day, obviously. He's dealing with all this shit. And he's sitting at the table with his son. And this was all improvised, by the way. All improvised. It's when his son starts mimicking his every move.
Oh,
You know-
that's
Oh, yeah, when
scene.
he starts-
Oh god,
Yep.
that made me cry.
Yeah, that was all improvised.
That's
That
cute.
was all improv.
But what kind of killed me was like, come here, give me a kiss,
Mhm.
get out of here.
So anyway, the search for Bruce begins. And Bruce, fun little story about the shark. The shark is named Bruce. It's named
I didn't
after
know that.
Spielberg's lawyer.
Why?
Because he's
Just
a shark.
'cause?
There it is.
All right, fair enough.
So yeah, so Brody and Hooper go out and they start looking for Bruce, and they discover this beat up boat. And Hooper decides to get in the water, and he looks at it and he finds the great white shark tooth, right? And as he's trying to pull it out, we then see
Oh my god.
the fisherman Ben Gardner's body pop out.
That
which
got
I'm missing.
Dude, listen.
That
So
really scare you?
I was
Yes, dude.
I was telling you guys that I was watching Jaws like at 1 in the morning. Like I started it at 1, and not gonna lie, I was passing out mid through it. Like I was like closing my eyes, and then I was looking at the part where he was taking out the tooth, and I'm like, okay, I'm like passing out, and then bam, that shit woke me up. That woke me up. That scared the living hell out of me. And also, I had my nephew sleeping with me, so like sleeping like next to me, and I'm like, this is loud. This is loud. But no, he was passed out. But that really woke me up. That scared the
that was
shit out of
bad.
me. So props for that. I hate
Yeah.
whoever decided that was a good idea. I love you and hate you with. Oh my god.
Spielberg
That really scared
actually,
me.
during their first initial test viewing, he felt like that scene didn't get the reaction he wanted, so he spent $3,000 of his own money to reshoot that in a swimming pool
No shit.
just to get it right, just to get it perfect.
Wow. Well,
That's why it's so
it was worth it.
effective.
It was worth it because so I watched this yesterday. I watched this last night with my mom, and we were sitting there on the couch and we were sitting there watching it, and she's seen it like 50 times, like as well as you, and both of us. She screamed, and I jumped so high out of this chair. I got so scared my arms went cold. Like it was one of those.
No,
moments.
it's one of those.
It was one of those. I felt it like in like my forearm. How scared I was.
It's effective. It's really effective. I remember my grandma. Big shout out to Mimi. She and my grandfather went and saw the premiere of Jaws. And she was
Like
telling
in
me,
theaters.
In theaters.
Oh.
And she was telling me during that scene she jumped so violently that she bruised her leg on the seat.
It's okay. I did the same thing during the 4D screening of Spy Kids 3, when the anaconda goes by and they like brush something up against the back of your legs in the seat, and I jumped out of that seat and I screamed and then I cried.
Ooh.
That's amazing.
That was a really good jump scare, though. For like, I don't want to say because the 70s, but I do want to say, however, they had such good SFX in the 70s. Like what's it called? And the third kill. Am I going too far?
We are going we're jumping ahead.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I know the
Okay,
kill
never
you're
mind.
talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but I'm gonna save that for once we jump into
Yeah,
that. So
actually before
don't put this in.
before we jump into the hunt for Bruce, I think now's a good time to take a break. So we're going to go take a short break and we'll be right back in a few.
Hey everyone, this is Kinson from the Creep at 100 podcast. Today I'm here to talk to you about Skillshare. Skillshare is a platform where you can explore thousands of hands-on creative classes to better yourself in any area. These areas include TV, film, animation, creative writing, music, design, illustration, photography, anything you could think of. Whether you're here to just learn a new skill or learn how to start a small business, they have classes for everyone on Skillshare. Exclusive for our listeners, guys, you can go on and you save 50% when you sign up for an annual plan. Make sure to click the link in our description below to sign up for your free trial and join Skillshare today. It really is one of the best places to learn any new skill, and I promise you guys will not regret it. Sign up for Skillshare today.
All right, and welcome back to our 4th of July special. We're going to jump right back into Jaws. So, after they discover Ben Gardner's body in the boat, Brody is really trying to get the beach closed on the 4th of July. They tell the mayor that it's a great white shark. It's not that tiger shark that you think you caught. But my man is more concerned about the graffiti on his billboards than the great white shark in his waters, bro. This mayor sucks.
This mayor does suck.
Definitely.
It's just terrible. I believe during the scene where they're all discussing, Hooper says it's a perfect engine, an eating machine, referring to the shark.
Yeah.
But the mayor decides, I'm keeping the beach open. I need my Gouda. I need my coin.
Man needs it.
And you know what? Hella people show out on the 4th of July.
Yeah, there's ferries
Hella.
bringing them.
Yeah, bro, I saw that. Like, the ferry was full of people.
Yes, it was.
The beach is crowded. People are going in. People are all sitting on the sand. They're too afraid to go in that water.
Yeah.
Never went in.
And there's this really cool scene where there's this news reporter who's on the beach and he's talking about the shark, right? That's Peter Benchley. That's the author of Jaws.
Oh, no shit.
Yep, that's him.
Oh, I did not know that. That's actually really cool.
It is. A little Stan Lee type cameo there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah, so then the mayor convinces this family to go into the water. He's like, just go into the water, Get it going. So, they go in the water, and then eventually the water starts to pile up. People go in there. They're all having a good time, right? And then we see a couple of fins go by.
Oh, God.
And people start freaking out, and they run. They run out of the water. And it turns out that the fins were just some kids.
That's so funny. That's
With guns
so
all
funny.
pointed
Yeah, and they come out of the
everything.
water, and they have this whole police force aiming guns at them. And I forget what the kid says. Like,
The kid, he made me do it.
He made me do
it.
oh my god, that scene is just so
what
funny.
a
At first,
good
I
prank.
thought it was the Chiefs kids. I thought it was Michael and that one other.
I thought it was
Michael
too.
and Sean would know not to do that, bro. Brody would.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then Chief Brody tells his son Michael he needs to go play in the pond. The pond is safer.
Yeah.
Boy, was he wrong. That's where Bruce is.
Yeah.
So, so they're in there, and this guy comes up to them. He's like, "Hey, you fellas doing okay over here?" And as he's asking him this question, Bruce comes up and knocks the boat. He knocks him off the boat, and he's trying to climb back on the boat. And from within the depths of the fucking water, we see this huge great white shark come up and just
Yeah.
chomp on his leg.
Oh, I felt
I know.
so
It's like,
bad for that
he was
kid.
just trying to help the kid.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
He was just chilling. He was doing his normal daily thing.
And then we see his
bam.
entire leg
Next thing you know,
severed, and
you're
it just
Oh.
falls to the bottom.
That's what I was trying to. That's what I was trying to tell you guys. That's really good.
It's great special effects.
SFX. Like
My-
that's very great.
One of the things I
amazing.
noticed is I thought it was very, very plain and obvious that it was that first guy whose leg got attacked. But I think that the whole point of that entire scene was you didn't know whose leg just got attacked, because when they bring out Brody's son, they do a special job of zooming into his leg at one point and making sure that both are there. But in my experience, like it was very, very obvious that it was the first dude that got snatched on there. And also with these, like, with it being in the pond and everything, between the two fins, that's really the first time that you actually understand the scale of this shark. This thing is huge, and like that's the first time that I really understood like how crazy this thing is.
Right, and like that's honestly, I immediately knew. I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely the guy that was the first guy who was like, "Are you guys doing great out there?" Like, that's immediately what I'm like, okay, that's the guy's leg, because
Of course.
And of course, Michael, he's like just there sitting in shock, and he goes to the hospital after that because he was in shock.
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
It never came to my mind that it was
No.
probably Michael or it was probably somebody else. No, I immediately knew it was the guy on the
Yeah, the paddleboard.
whatever on the boat. He wasn't sitting on.
Yeah, it was
a
like a
boat.
paddleboard
He was
or
sitting
something
on
like that.
another, like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Well, yeah. Like that's a
Yeah.
great segue actually. So
So-
Michael goes in the shock, and then Brody. This is when he's like, "Oh, this is too real. This is too close to home. Let's hire Quint to kill the shark."
Yeah, after that scene with the mayor.
And that's when the mayor. He's. Ugh, that's what I was trying to tell you guys. That the mayor, the mayor really pissed me off because he was so. I guess you could say selfish because he only cared about him gaining his dough instead of like. But okay, so that's when it comes to Alex's mom coming in all black, and she's like,
Oh
"Are you
my-
Sheriff?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then she smacks the shit out of
Is that
him.
his name?
a
Sheriff
good
Brody.
smack.
Yeah, and he smacks, and I'm like, as you should. But
Like,
then
baby,
at the
smack
same
the
time,
mayor.
it's not his fault. It
Literally.
was the mayor's fault. Yeah, it's exactly smack the mayor because he twice he said, "Nah, let's keep it open until that the third death, which was the guy's death, which we saw the leg." He's like, "My kids were there," and it's like, okay, when he said my kids were there, I immediately said, "Then sign the
Literally.
fucking contract, bitch."
Oh
That's
my
literally what I said. And that's when Sheriff Brody said,
Yep.
"Sign it." And he signed it, but he still felt like not only did he feel I should, but at the same time he feel I shouldn't, cause I'm gonna lose money. So at the same time, it kind of shows that he only cares about himself.
One thing I never
know?
understood: a mayor's salary is not flexible. He's not making more money if the town makes more money. Man's gonna get his salary regardless.
No, he wants to be reelected. He wants the community to make the money, so he gets the reelection or something like that.
Yeah, I guess, but like, man is literally, he looks like a bookie every time you see him. Like he's like licking his fingers, talking about money. Like he pulls up with like 4 other guys in pinstripe suits, and he's like, "Nah, you don't want to close the beach, do you?" Like over and over again. Like when he's on that little like ride to go out to the kids, or on the little ferry thing, he
Yeah.
really pulls up on him like a loan shark. And I didn't even know it was the mayor at first, because I was like, what is this unprofessional ass behavior?
Yeah, this mayor really sucks. I would never want to live in Amity, bro.
Very.
Yeah, he's only second to Calabar.
Actually, dude.
But even then, the other people, like everyone else, like the population,
I trust the
that's in there,
governor from The Walking Dead more.
If you know there was a shark
You know
attack,
what? Yeah.
I've never seen The Walking Dead, so
Fair enough.
but like the population, if they knew there was a shark attack, why would you want to go back in there? Okay, one person goes back in there. They were not necessarily forced, but they were manipulated into going. Just go swimming. Go swimming. And then he goes, and then everyone else is like, "All right, so it's safe. All right, okay, that's what y'all think." And then 5 minutes later, there's another death. So like, personally, I would not go back in there if I were to see news that there was a shark attack in that same beach. You know, I would not go back in there. It's just common sense, I guess you could say.
Yeah, so they hire Quint. And then Hooper and Quint meet for the first time, and they are not getting along. Quint doesn't like his city hands.
Jesus. Oh my god. That whole scene was ridiculous.
Quint's
Let me see
ridiculous,
your
bro.
hands, boys.
Let me feel your hands, boy. You got them city hands.
Yeah, he's like moaning and shit. I didn't like that. He's like,
And then we see the
Oh, look
orca
where
for
he
the
ended
first
up.
time, which is Quint's boat.
mm-hmm.
And that's where we spend the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, they get on this boat. They're about to go hunt Bruce. Brody's learning how to tie this knot from Quint, and there's this really, really, really cool scene where Quint has his fishing pole, something's nibbling at it. Brody's about to get this knot down for the first time. He gets it. He goes, "I got it!" And right when he says that, the shark bites down on the bait. It's just like, wow.
Yeah,
I love that scene. I love that scene.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is it's just this very subtle shot that they did. It was just really cool. Is when they were leaving the dock, it was filmed through a shark jaw bone.
Yeah.
In Quint's thing, it was filmed through like the mouth of a shark's jaw that was up in like a museum area of Quint's like house, I guess.
Yeah.
And that is the shot that you see the boat leaving through the dock.
Yeah.
That was a really cool shot.
It's a nice shot. It is a nice shot. So after that, they start chumming the waters because Bruce escapes. So yeah, Brody's chumming the waters, and as he's chumming it, we see Bruce jump out of the water almost.
Oh
we see
shit! Yeah,
how big the shark is.
that got me too.
He backs up. He backs up.
Various times, like a
He
lot
finds
of times,
Quint,
like,
and he goes,
yeah.
"You're gonna need a bigger boat."
Yeah.
and that was improv by Roy Schneider, actually. That line.
Oh, no way.
Yep.
No, that kind of, not gonna lie, that kind of sent me where he was just chumming the water, and then all of a sudden he just sees the shark, and he just stares at it like.
Yeah. Anyway, so Quint and Hooper estimate. Well, Hooper goes, "That's a 20-footer," and then Quint goes, "That's a 25-foot long shark." So yeah, they after that they shoot the shark with the barrel, and hoping it would drown and come up. And as they're waiting, Bruce gets away. Night starts to fall, and they start drinking and sharing stories together. Show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. And then we learn about everyone's different scars. I love the scene where Hooper goes, right here. I forget what her name was, but he says a girl's name.
Oh yeah, I forget what the girl's name is too, but it's so
and then
funny.
Quint pulls up a scar on his leg, and it turns out that he was on the USS Indianapolis.
That was on his arm. The tattoo that he had removed.
Okay. Oh yeah, because
used to say USS Indianapolis.
It wasn't a scar. That was
because Brody asks, "What?
And Hooper goes,
what about that one?
Mom?
What about that one?" Yeah.
Yeah, so we learned that he survived the shark attacks on the USS Indianapolis, which actually happened.
Yes. Do you know anything about that,
Yes.
like actual story?
I actually know a lot about it.
That is insane. That one is crazy. It was like, what was it? It was 900.
It's a very high number. It's a very high number.
It was. I think there was 1,200 when the USS Indianapolis was attacked. There was 900 that survived the initial sinking, and there was only I think it was 315 to 320 that survived after the rest of them got eaten by sharks. They went insane. They started eating each other. Like, they started, like, dying of heat stroke in the middle of the ocean. Like, it was a crazy, horrible story that, honestly, I think we might cover at one point in here, so I'm not going to give too much away.
But while they're all singing and having a good time, the shark attacks the boat and starts flooding the ship. And they all start scrambling. They're trying to get it together. Morning arises. The shark's doing the same shit. Destroying the fucking boat. And Brody's trying to call for Mayday, and Quint destroys the radio.
I don't understand.
Why? Quint,
Why did he do that?
He's over the top.
Why?
And all you hear is,
He just wanted to be the guy.
Boys, he's come back for his noon feeding.
Yeah.
And then, they end up shooting more barrels at the shark, and they tie it to the boat. And their plan is to, drive the boat and get the shark to drown. However, the shark is a lot stronger, and the shark pulls the boat. And that starts to flood the boat even more.
Yes.
I know, that poor boat. So someone decides to cut the barrels off the boat just to save them. It's a great call because they were going to die. And I believe at this time there were 3 or 4 barrels attached to Bruce. Like, this is a strong shark.
There's 3.
And as you can tell, it's getting pretty serious because Quint ends up grabbing life jackets for everybody.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's what I saw, where he was just like, he was holding on to something and he looked at the life vest and I'm like, no, do not even. At first I thought they were gonna die
Hooper
into
does.
the ocean to kill the shark.
Yeah, Hooper gets in the shark cage with the poison.
Oh, yeah. That part, talk about anxiety. Oh my god. That gave me so much anxiety. I thought Hooper was next. And then, of course...
Yeah, so Hooper's in the cage, and he's trying to just do that. He sees the shark, and then the shark just disappears. And then it comes from behind and attacks the cage. And it just tears the cage apart. And Hooper flees. He gets out of there.
And I was wondering why they didn't pull him back up. I'm like, don't they have some sort of communication? Like, pull me back up. But then whenever the scene with... Sheriff, I'm terrible with names.
Chief Brody,
yes. He was like, I can't get him back up, or like, help me get him back up. I'm like, okay, so there's some technical difficulties. So he did a great job to hiding. And then, of course, that's when we go to that one scene that made me cry.
Bruce ends up sinking the boat. Bruce jumps on the boat. And Quint is hanging on for dear life, and he's just about to slide into the shark's mouth. And then you see that one of the scuba tanks rolls on his hand, and that's what kind of... He loses his grip, and he falls right into Bruce's mouth. My man gets eaten alive right then and there.
I was really hoping, okay, just one bite, and then he comes back out. But nope. And then all I see is his guts on the shark's teeth, and I'm like, all right, okay, all right.
Yeah, when Bruce breaks through the cabin in the ship, you can just see, what's left of Quint in his.
Oh my god!
Like,
yeah.
Oh, but right then and there, that's when Brody gets the idea. He remembers Hooper's saying that the tanks can't explode if they're damaged. So he throws it into the shark's mouth. Parallels,
because in the first part, he's like,
yep,
because they roll down, right? Like somebody, I can't remember if it was Hooper.
He pulls the wrong rope and he lets loose
and then he was like, "Are you crazy? They'll blow up and stuff." So that's really smart of him that he kept that in mind, at least, you know. So
yeah,
I thought that was really smart.
Yeah. Yeah, he goes, Brody, that's compressed air.
I love our Hooper impressions. They're
Hooper is amazing, because going a little bit back, I don't remember what, oh my god, I keep calling him Clint, but it's not Clint. What's his name?
It's Quint.
Quint, Brody.
He was saying something about, I don't remember what he said, but he was being cocky or something, and then Hooper is just like giving him faces and shit.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, okay, so Hooper has humor. This is what I like about this movie, that it has a little bit of humor in there.
And the characters in this movie are great too.
Yeah.
Yep. And we get that final scene with the sinking boat. Brody's got Quint's gun. He's missing all his shots, and eventually he finally hits the tank. Boom. Bruce dies and sinks to the ocean. And that scene just, it just makes me so happy every time I watch it. It's just like a, yeah! Like a,
yeah. It really is. It's like, it's such a good, final,
And I mean, that scene was, obviously, yes, they killed the shark. But I was so hurt with Quint's death. You know, I remembered this time. But I was very, very hurt about Quint's death, but at the same time, I'm like, look at the bright side. At least he saved his money. Now he doesn't have to pay anyone.
Yeah, where's that $10,000 going?
To him, I guess.
To the funeral.
Or the funeral, yeah, I guess, because at the same time he did help, so.
Yeah. So yeah, watching Quint die, that upset you?
Yes, 100%. I was hoping, I'm like, just keep your foot on the bottom lip and on the other one on the top. Like, just keep him like that, just keep it like that. But nah.
Nah. My man got eaten.
Yep, he was full bait. So that that hurt me very much. So,
yeah, and then so after we kill the shark, Hooper comes out of the water, still alive.
Which I'm very glad about because Hooper was my favorite character.
Hooper's your favorite?
Yeah, Hooper, definitely.
Yeah, he's great.
Hooper's definitely my favorite.
Mine's Brody. Anyone that likes Quint, I'm suspicious of.
I mean, I didn't like him, but then
He's a
like
psycho.
afterwards,
Well,
like
you're allowed
whenever
to
they
like him,
got
but, like,
drunk,
as their favorite.
like whenever they got drunk, I'm like, okay, he's cool. But Hooper, I liked him since he was the first scene. I liked him because he seemed very chill. Like he seemed very cool, So.
Oh boys, he's back for his afternoon feeding.
So I thought he was really
he's
cool.
just great. He's great. But yeah, that wraps up Jaws. We just covered the entire movie. Yeah, I want to hear you guys' reviews of it. I love it. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. It's one of my favorite films I've ever seen.
I think it's definitely a 10 out of 10 it was my first time watching it and I really liked it. So I'll give it a 9 out of 10 because Quint's death really hurt me. Not gonna lie.
All right, I'm gonna give it a quick 7.8.
Why so low?
Out of 10. 7.8, which is not low. It's pretty good.
Decent.
But my quarrels with this is speed up those boat scenes. They were on the boat for so long. And there was so much of those boat scenes where literally nothing was happening. And I understand something can't happen every single second or else the movie would be over in 5 seconds. But like, they were out there for so long. Like I kept pausing the movie and being like, how much do we have left? Because they're on the boat already. So this thing's not going to die. I think this thing has to die within the next 10 minutes. No. They get on the boat and there's like a cool 50 minutes left of the movie. And, a few things happen every once in a while, but like, to be realistic, 3 main things happen while they're on that boat. Across 50 minutes of time. And so I was just like, it just felt like it dragged a little bit there. But even with that, I do think it's a very strong and very good movie. I liked it a lot. It got me. It got me good a few times. I'm not gonna chop it up. It got me good a few times, so I'm not gonna like hate on it. It was good. Cool 7.8 out of 10. And that's my final review of Jaws.
All right. Now it's time for the fun facts.
Cool, hit me with them.
Dreyfuss is on record saying, this film sounds fun to watch, but it's going to be a bitch to film. It ended up taking 7 months to film this.
That's a little bit compared to other movies.
Okay.
So that's actually a good time. That's good. But
that's not what they were scheduled for, though. So I'm sure were upset. As you know, the mechanical shark would constantly break down. Jaws is actually based on a true story.
I would expect it
no
to
shit.
be a true, because sharks are real. So I mean, sharks are real.
Sharks are real. So
in 1916, on the Jersey Shore, in a 2-week span, in July, 4 people were killed and 1 were injured by a shark. In a 2-week span.
Ooh.
That's a lot.
That's what they get for going to Jersey.
Yeah. Here's my favorite and final fun fact. There's a lot of fun facts I can get into, but this one's just icing on the cake. Steven Spielberg had invited George Lucas and Martin Scorsese out to see the shark. So George Lucas is inspecting the mouth of the shark, and Steven Spielberg decides to hit the air compressor to shut the mouth on him. So, so Bruce was, biting George Lucas, and they ended up breaking the shark. Yeah, so they were fucking around with the shark, and they broke it, and they all snuck out of the warehouse he was in.
That's hilarious.
Whoever the special effects coordinator was, he came in the next day and was like, "Who the?"
That's really funny. That's a really good one.
Kenton, do we have any 1-star reviews for this movie?
On this one, honestly, I did take a look, but there wasn't a lot of fun ones. It was the last one had a lot of oh, I hate this because blah blah, like a really personal story. All these were mostly oh, I'm afraid of sharks, didn't watch.
So why did you
afraid
search
of
it up
water,
in the
didn't
first
watch.
place?
Nothing really struck me.
Yeah, seriously, why would you even review it?
Yeah, not a lot of good ones, honestly.
I think that's about it for the episode then. Guys, thank you so much for listening to our 4th of July special. I hope you enjoyed hearing us talk about one of my favorite movies, Jaws. And catch us next week for Jeanette's segment. Do you know what that is yet? All right, catch us next week. Jeanette will be your host, and we look forward to seeing you there. In the meantime, be sure to follow us on social media at CreepIt100pod for exclusive content. All righty, y'all. Take it easy.
Bye.
See you guys.